The battlefield doesn't care about how you feel. The world won't adjust for your emotions, but it will bend to your strategy. Remember that. You have big dreams, right? You want to rise, win, dominate. But let's be honest, most people lose not because they're not talented, but because they let emotions run their game. Anger, jealousy, hurt, impulse. Guess what? None of those can be part of the plan if you're building an empire. Stop acting out of emotion and start acting out of vision. You are not here to feel your way to success. You are here to think, plan, act, and conquer. Look around you. The winners, they're not the ones who cried the loudest. They're the ones who moved in silence, calculated every step, and played the long game. They didn't let heartbreak ruin the mission. They didn't let failure define them. They got smarter, not softer. If you're emotional, you're reactive. If you're strategic, you're dangerous. So here's the real shift. Stop reacting. Stop calculating. Stop chasing approval. Stop building empires. Stop proving yourself. Start preparing yourself. You don't owe your emotions the driver's seat. You owe your vision that seat. Move with clarity. Move with fire in your gut, but ice in your strategy. Because the real game changers, they move in silence. They strike with precision. And they win with intention. Let's get something clear. When you move with emotion, you give away your power. You become a puppet to every situation around you. Someone disrespects you, you explode. Something doesn't go your way, you break down. That's not power, that's fragility dressed in pride. When you're emotional, you're reacting to the world instead of shaping it. Emotions make you immediate, but success demands you be intentional. Think about it. Emotions are loud, they're impulsive, they scream for attention. Strategy, on the other hand, is silent, and that's exactly why it's deadly. Emotional decisions are based on the present moment. Strategic decisions are based on future impact. The person who's ruled by emotion will always chase temporary satisfaction, but the one who chooses strategy will build lasting legacy. You can either feed your ego or feed your future, but not both. Every time you react emotionally, you're giving someone else control of the chessboard. You're not thinking 2 steps ahead. You're swinging blindly, hoping to land a punch. But guess what? The real winners don't throw wild punches, they aim for checkmate. It's not about how fast you move, it's about how smart you move. Because in this world, being emotional makes you visible, but being strategic makes you dangerous. Strategic people don't respond to every insult, every delay, every storm. They choose their battles. Not because they're weak, but because they've already won in their mind. They don't need to prove anything. Their next move will speak for them. When you're emotional, your power is external. When you're strategic, your power is internal. And nothing can break what lives inside you. Most people confuse passion with power, but passion unchecked becomes chaos. You need both fire and focus. Passion will start the engine, but strategy drives the vehicle. Emotions make you slam the gas pedal in anger or fear. Strategy makes you steer the wheel with direction. Control without clarity is just noise, but control with strategy? That's mastery. Now here's the truth nobody tells you. The world will provoke you on purpose. People will test your patience, your pride, your peace. And if you react emotionally, you've lost. You gave them access to your mental space. But when you hold the line, stay calm, stay still, stay focused, you flip the game. Now you own the moment. Now you have leverage. It takes strength to not react. It takes discipline to not respond. But it's the same strength that builds champions. Emotion tells you right now. Strategy tells you not yet. Wait for your moment. The greatest power isn't in doing something first, it's in doing it right. Fast isn't impressive, effective is. So the next time something pushes your buttons, ask yourself, am I reacting to prove something or am I moving to win something? Because in every situation, you always have 2 options. React and lose control or strategize and own the game. Every moment is a test. The smart ones don't flinch. They study, then they strike. Your feelings are momentary. They rise and fall like waves, unstable, shifting, unpredictable. One day you feel unstoppable, the next you feel like quitting. If you build your actions around feelings, you will build an unstable life. But when your vision is leading, your foundation becomes solid. Vision doesn't care how you feel. It cares about where you're going, and that's exactly what makes it stronger than emotion. You're allowed to feel tired. You're allowed to feel discouraged. But what you're not allowed to do is let those feelings decide your direction. Because every time you let a feeling make a decision for you, you delay your progress. Your vision doesn't need permission from your mood, it needs action. Even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Here's the truth: your vision is your contract with your future, it's the blueprint. It holds the why behind everything you do. But feelings, they're like pop up notifications, constant, distracting, and mostly useless. You can acknowledge them, but don't let them take the wheel. If your vision is clear, your steps stay consistent, even if your heart is heavy. The people who build something legendary, businesses, careers, movements, don't operate on feelings. They operate on commitment. They know feelings are unreliable, so they tie themselves to something bigger. That is something is vision. It's what makes you wake up early, stay late, and keep moving even when everything inside you wants to stop. Vision has direction. Emotion has urgency. Vision asks, what do I want in 5 years? Emotion screams, what do I want right now? The gap between those two questions. That's the difference between mediocrity and greatness. It's the difference between a life you manage and a life you master. One gets applause, the other gets results. There will be moments when your feelings will beg you to quit. You'll feel invisible, rejected, exhausted. That's when your vision has to roar louder than your emotion. When your vision is louder, you become unshakable. You don't stop for validation. You don't quit when it's hard. You push forward because your future self is already waiting at the finish line. Think about your feelings as passengers in a car. You can't throw them out, but you sure as hell shouldn't let them drive. Your vision should have its hands on the wheel. You're building something. That requires clarity, direction, stability, and none of those come from emotion. They come from a decision to follow your mission, even when your emotions are throwing a tantrum. If you're serious about building your life, career, or purpose, you have to stop worshipping how you feel and start respecting what you're building. When you let vision lead, you stop chasing approval and start chasing results. That's how legacies are made, not by how many emotions you felt, but by how many times you chose vision over chaos. The loudest one in the room is rarely the one in control. The ones who win truly win don't broadcast every step. They don't need to. Their results do the talking, while others are busy making noise they're building. Quietly, strategically, with intention, because noise attracts attention but silence breeds precision. Look closely at high performers. You'll notice they're calm, still, focused, not because they're emotionless, but because they understand the value of energy conservation. They're not wasting effort on explaining themselves, defending themselves, or announcing plans that haven't been executed yet. They are too busy sharpening their sword to brag about swinging it. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's the understanding that every word you speak before action is just a leak in your energy. Winners don't drop hints, they drop results. They don't post a coming soon, they deliver. They don't warn you before they just strike. And by the time you realize it, it's already done. The calculated mind studies, listens, observes. It waits for the perfect timing, the right moment, the gap in the armor, and then it executes. Emotion wants to act immediately. Strategy waits until acting is unavoidable. This is not procrastination, it's preparation. Because one clean move from a prepared mind can outperform 1,000 emotional reactions. When you're loud, you reveal your fears. When you're quiet, you control your narrative. The real kings and queens never needed a crown to be respected. They earned that with silence and wins. Why? Because when people don't know what you're doing, they can't interfere, they can't copy, and they can't stop you. Mystery is power. Silence is leverage. We live in a world obsessed with showing off progress. Look what I'm working on. Look what I'm about to do. But real achievers know power is best protected when it's hidden. Not everyone needs to know your vision. Not everyone deserves access to your process. If you show them the entire blueprint, don't be shocked when they try to copy the design. Your silence is not just about others, it's about you. It trains discipline, it sharpens clarity, it keeps you grounded. When you stop seeking applause and start obsessing over impact, you realize every move doesn't need to be seen, it just needs to work. Loud goals sound good, quiet actions change lives. So next time you feel the urge to announce your goals, stop and ask yourself, who are you trying to impress? The real reward is not in people clapping. It's in building something so solid, so undeniable, that one day you won't have to introduce yourself. Your results will. Let's get this straight. Life will break your heart. People will disappoint you. Things will fall apart. But none of that is your signal to stop. That's your signal to adapt, to transform, to get sharper. Every setback is not a sign to quit, it's a test. And the question is always the same. Will you become weaker or will you become wiser? Pain is not the enemy. Reaction is. What happens to you can't define you. Only your response does. When someone betrays you, don't fall. You learn. When a plan fails, you don't give up. You rebuild smarter. Life isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to reveal you. And only the strongest version of you can make it to the next level. Most people treat pain like a stop sign. Winners treat it like a mirror. They look into it, they reflect, they recalibrate. They don't get emotional and shut down. They get strategic and shift gears. When something hurts, don't collapse. Study it. Ask why. Ask how to never let it happen again. That's how real growth happens. Through confrontation, not avoidance. Heartbreak is proof you tried. Betrayal is proof you trusted, failure is proof you attempted, and all three are part of the process. If you've never felt crushed, you've never played big enough. But what separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay down is this: the ones who rise turn pain into a blueprint, not a burden. This world doesn't care about your excuses, it cares about your evolution. The people who keep winning aren't lucky, they're adaptive. They take the pain, strip away the drama, and turn it into strategy. You betrayed me? Cool. Now I know how to protect myself better. I failed. Now I know what doesn't work. That mindset? Unstoppable. You were not built to crumble. You were built to rise. But you can't rise by reacting emotionally every time things fall apart. You rise by choosing logic over chaos, strategy over drama. When life throws a punch, your emotions want to fight back. But your mission? It wants you to get smarter, not louder. You've been hurt. Good. That means you've got fuel. You've been rejected. Perfect. That means you've got direction. Every I know, every loss, every heartbreak, that's data. Use it. Don't cry over it. Winners don't sulk in pain, they study it. And from that study, they evolve into something the world can't predict or control. So when life breaks you, don't shut down. Don't get emotional. Don't retreat. Upgrade. Become more focused, more tactical, more aware. Because evolution isn't emotional. It's intentional. And the next version of you isn't softer, it's sharper. You cannot master anything in life until you master yourself. Your mind, your emotions, your reactions. That's the real battlefield. Everyone wants to control money, power, people, fame. But what's the point of external control when internally you're falling apart? If your mind is in chaos, your world will be too. Because no matter where you go, you carry your inner state with you. You can't build empires with a scattered mind. You can't lead if you're emotionally unpredictable. And you'll never execute powerfully if you're constantly triggered by small things. You must become a fortress internally, calm, deliberate, unshakable. That kind of control isn't natural. It's built, brick by brick, moment by moment, discipline over reaction, logic over impulse. Think of it this way: your inner world is your headquarters. If that space is confused, cluttered, or chaotic, every decision that flows from it will be off. It's like trying to write with a broken pen. No matter how brilliant the idea, the output will suffer. Control your inner state and your strategy becomes sharp. Let emotions dominate it and your results become sloppy. You want power? You want impact? Then you better learn to pause before you react. That's the beginning of mastery. Not jumping at every emotion, not swinging back at every insult, not needing validation every 5 minutes. Emotional control isn't repression. It's redirection. It's choosing to act on what serves your mission, not your mood. You've seen it. Talented people implode under pressure. Why? Not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked emotional intelligence. One bad mood and they self-sabotage. One rejection and they fall apart. That's not power. That's weakness disguised as intensity. True strength is calm under fire. It's the ability to think straight when others are breaking down. Your mind is your most valuable territory. Guard it like a king guards his throne. Feed it right. Train it. Discipline it. Every day you're either sharpening it or dulling it. And when pressure comes, not if, but when, the quality of your inner world will decide whether you lead or collapse. Mastering your inner world means you don't let others write your story. Someone insults you, you stay composed. A plan fails, you recalibrate. No panic, no meltdown, just strategy, just focus. That level of control scares people because it means you're not easily moved. And people can't manipulate someone who's mentally unshakable. So before you try to build the business, win the title, or chase the dream, ask yourself, can I rule my emotions? Can I operate from clarity under chaos? Because the truth is simple. If you don't dominate your inner world, the outer world will dominate you. Let's clear the air. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation feels good. It's exciting. It makes you want to act. But motivation fades fast. It depends on mood, energy, whether even sleep. If your success is tied to motivation, you'll only be productive when you feel like it. And that's exactly why you stay inconsistent. Winners don't move on motivation, they move on discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to. That's the test. Can you show up when you're tired? Can you execute when there's no applause? Can you stay consistent when no one's watching? Because that's where the gap is. That's why most people drop off and the disciplined ones rise. You don't build empires with bursts of hype. You build them with habits, repetition, systems, structure. Motivation tells you to work hard today. Discipline tells you to work hard every day. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the most passionate, it's the most consistent. The one who doesn't need energy to be effective. That person becomes unstoppable. Habits are what save you when motivation disappears, and it will. Everyone has good days, but what do you do on the bad ones? Do you fold? Do you vanish? Or do you show up anyway? That's where legacy is built. In the grind, in the silence, in the boring reps that no one celebrates. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's gritty, but it delivers. Let's stop glorifying hustle that comes from hype. Anyone can run fast when they're hyped, but hype burns out. Strategy doesn't. Discipline doesn't. The real game is sustainability long-term, day after day. People won't remember how loud you started. They'll remember how long you lasted. And that comes from habit, not hype. Want to change your life? Forget intensity. Focus on consistency. It's not about how hard you hit once. It's about how many times you show up and swing. You win not because of one powerful day, but because of 1,000 normal days executed with relentless discipline. That's the kind of boring most people avoid. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. Discipline turns your goals into your lifestyle. When something becomes part of who you are, you don't skip it. You don't negotiate with it. You live it. And that's when momentum kicks in. When the gym, the writing, the work, the learning becomes non-negotiable. Not because you're inspired, because it's standard. So build your life on systems. Set your routine, stick to it. Stop waiting to feel like it. You don't need motivation to be legendary. You need a strategy. You need structure. And above all, you need discipline that doesn't flinch, even when everything else in you wants to quit. Your energy is your most valuable asset. More than time, more than money, more than opportunity. Why? Because without energy, you can't build, you can't think, you can't execute. And yet, most people give their energy away carelessly to distractions, to toxic people, to pointless arguments, to approval seeking. That's emotional living. Strategic living is selective. It's intentional. It's guarded. You don't know access to everyone. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every invitation deserves a yes. You can't build a focused life while constantly being pulled into chaos. High performers move with boundaries, not to be cold, but to stay clear, to protect their mission. Because every ounce of energy you waste entertaining nonsense is one less ounce going into your dream. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't get it. Stop watering relationships that drain you. Just because someone's in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. Start evaluating people based on energy return, not history. If they don't fuel your focus, they're taxing your future. And in this game, too much tax will bankrupt your potential. Strategic people treat energy like money. They budget it. They know who drains them, who sharpens them, and who distracts them. And they adjust accordingly. If someone brings drama every time they show up, that's a debt. If someone supports your growth and sharpens your thinking, that's an investment. Treat it that way, cut emotional loss. Maximize strategic gain. Your dream is too expensive to be powered by a tired mind. You need clarity. You need fire. You need discipline. And you'll never have any of that if you keep letting energy vampires run free in your life. There's no shame in protecting your space. The higher you rise, the tighter your circle must become. Loose boundaries create leaked destinies. When you are average, you could entertain average energy. But when you're building something uncommon, your standards must rise. Who you talk to, who you listen to, who you allow to influence you, it all matters. Your energy is the foundation of your execution. Guard it, sharpen it, feed it, or someone else will use it for their mission, not yours. Look around. Is your environment draining or energizing you? Are your conversations pushing you forward or pulling you back? If you're constantly exhausted, maybe it's not the work. Maybe it's the weight of wasted energy, energy given to people, situations, and distractions that have no return. It's time to stop bleeding energy for free. So from this point forward, treat your energy like a CEO treats budget. Ruthlessly protect it. Audit your access list. Be kind, but be clear. Not everyone gets to walk with you. This journey requires focus, and focus demands that you move not emotionally but strategically. This is the age of performance theater. Everyone's busy showing off, talking loud, doing things for the content. But here's the truth. Attention is cheap. You can buy it, beg for it, or borrow it. But respect? That's earned. That's long-term. And it doesn't come from noise, it comes from results. From discipline. From a consistent body of work that speaks so loud you don't have to. If your focus is getting noticed, you'll compromise your integrity to get claps. You'll start creating for likes instead of legacy. You'll trade depth for views. And over time, you'll burn out chasing an image that doesn't even represent your real value. But when you shift from chasing attention to chasing execution, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not moving to impress. You're moving to build. You want people to take you seriously? Then stop announcing and start delivering. Your vision doesn't need to be validated. It needs to be realized. Most people get stuck in the performance loop, always posting, always promoting, but never producing. Don't be that person. Be the one who disappears for a while and returns with something undeniable. Let your work speak. Let your impact do the talking. When you walk in a room, don't demand attention. Carry presence. That presence is built through reps, through proof, through being the one who shows up and gets it done, no matter how quiet it looks from the outside. People remember power, not volume. And power is the byproduct of results. Think about the people you truly respect. It's not the ones who shout, it's the ones who move with precision, calm, intentional, effective. They don't chase followers, they attract loyalty, not because they're loud, but because they're solid. Be that. Build that. Because in the long run, respect will open doors that attention never could. Stop trying to go viral. Go vital. Be essential. Do something so valuable, so consistently, that people can't ignore you, even if they tried. The goal isn't to be seen today. The goal is to be respected for decades. And that doesn't come from clout. That comes from execution under pressure. Let everyone else keep performing. You stay producing. Stay quiet, stay dangerous. Stay focused. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people with results. And results don't chase the spotlight. They become the spotlight. So next time you feel the urge to be seen, ask yourself, do I want attention now or respect forever? The emotional mind craves quick applause, but the strategic mind builds a legacy. Most people are addicted to being busy. They confuse motion with progress. They wear burnout like a badge. But here's the truth. Doing more doesn't mean doing what matters. High-level results come from precision, not chaos. From focus, not frenzy. If you're doing 20 things and none of them are changing your reality, you're not succeeding. You're just spinning your wheels. Look at any elite performer. They're not obsessed with being everywhere. They're obsessed with being effective. They've mastered the art of saying no. Why? Because every yes to something average is a no to something powerful. That's the discipline. The strategic mind isn't busy, it's targeted. It works where it counts, not where it's convenient. Your time is a weapon, if used right. But if you spend it reacting to everyone else's urgency, you'll never build your own future. You can't grow if you're stuck in meetings that lead nowhere. You can't scale if you're drowning in tasks that make you feel productive but keep you broke. Strategy means cutting the fat, doing less, but doing it better. This is the shift from volume to value. You don't need 100 actions, you need 3 that create impact. You don't need to post 10 times, you need 1 message that lands. You don't need a 16-hour day, You need 6 hours of real, undistracted, focused execution. Strategy isn't about activity, it's about intelligent pressure applied in the right place. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of your to-do list is noise, made to feel important, built to feel. But deep down, you know the real work. The hard cores, the deep focus, the uncomfortable moves. That's what actually moves the needle. Emotion says stay busy. Strategy says cut the fluff and attack what matters. This is why so many stay stuck. They hide behind work that feels good instead of doing the work that delivers. You can be exhausted and still broke. You can be burnt out and still irrelevant. Energy is not enough. Time is not enough. You need strategic execution, work that's connected to outcome. So audit your actions. What are you really working on? Is it moving you forward? Is it aligned with your long-term goals? Or are you doing it because it's comfortable and easy to check off? Ruthless prioritization isn't optional, it's survival. If it doesn't move you toward the life you're building, it's a distraction. Don't aim to be busy, aim to be impactful. Strategy wins when you focus your fire, not when you spray your energy everywhere. In a world that rewards loud effort, be the one who wins quietly through sharp execution that actually moves things forward.